It's hot strike summer, throughout the country, with more than 650,000 American workers threatening to go on strike. There's SAG-AFTRA, that's actors who recently joined screenwriters in demanding fair compensation for their work and not being replaced by robots. I should note that Comcast, the corporation that owns MSNBC's parent company, NBCUniversal, is one of the entertainment companies represented by the studio executives they're striking against, the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. And some employees of NBCUniversal are also represented by the Writers Guild. Broadway appears to have narrowly averted a strike today, with crew members reaching a tentative agreement over salary and rest periods hours after the union announced a vote to walk out. Workers at various Starbucks and Amazon locations have also held strikes over the past month. But the biggest disruption to American commerce could be UPS drivers, who could strike by the end of the month, possibly affecting at least 30% of packages sent in this country. Oh, and in case you forgot, there's also the transportation industry. The union representing American Airlines flight attendants who haven't received a pay raise in years will hold a vote over the next month to decide whether or not to strike. And the United Auto Workers could follow suit in the fall. Joining me now to discuss all this is Ro Khanna of California, a member of the Congressional Labor Caucus. Congressman, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Look, I don't think we've seen something like this since like 1877, right? When there was just like massive labor strikes throughout the country. This is significant. And being on the committee that you're on, I'm sure you're in touch with these unions, you're in contact. Industries around the country are communicating with Congress what's going on with them. What do you think has caused this sort of hot strike summer, right? We're seeing so many different protests and so many different strikes across the board, across disparate industries. Do you think there's a core cause, or people are just getting fed up?
The working class is tired of losing in an economy for the past 40 years. I mean, the working class has lost 25% of wealth since 1985. I was just with President Shawn Fain this morning, the president of UAW, and his point is very, very valid. He's saying the government is giving billions of dollars to these companies. Big three, the automakers, they're making tremendous profits. Workers shouldn't just be paid $16. They should be paid the wages they were paid when they worked in the auto industry under electric vehicles. I met with the folks at the Teamsters Union. They're saying, look, when you have part-time workers shouldn't just be making $13, $14. These aren't the UPS drivers who come to your house who are often paid well. These are the folks at the airports and warehouses, and they're being treated awfully. They need to be paid fairly. And then the actors and writers, I've been out with them, and what they're saying is 87% of them make less than $26,000. Pay them so they can at least afford it to get health care.
You know, Congressman, I want to go down industry by industry. We'll start with the actors. One of the key issues, when we talk about auto workers, we've said, hey, automation, you had people being put out of work because you had different kinds of machinery. But one of the things that screenwriters and actors are talking about is artificial intelligence, right? Everybody calls it AI. I call it plagiarism machines, because you can't have AI unless it's drawing from things that already sort of exist one way or another. And what we've seen is not just a matter of actors saying, hey, I don't want you, a studio, to take my image and then recreate it to continue 7 series of a show that you're no longer paying me for. It's not just writers saying, hey, I don't want you to create an AI script using things that I've written before and then not pay me for it. What they're also pointing out is the fact that the corporations and the studios, they don't even want to talk about AI. What do you do when you're sort of looking at these kind of labor conflicts? What do you suggest, or what do you advise in situations where the employer doesn't even want to talk about innovation with the labor that could be replaced or lose their salaries because of it?
Well, as a representative from Silicon Valley, I understand AI, and the workers, the writers, the actors are absolutely right to say they should be part of how AI is used. There are 2 central concerns. One, which you alluded to, which is if you're going to feed information into this AI magic box and then it's going to spit out new content, the content that you're feeding in, that should be compensated. If writers are writing scripts, if they're writing plays, and then AI is just tinkering with it, those initial scripts need to be compensated. And the second thing is you don't want AI replacing writers, because what that's going to do is devolve the standard of entertainment. AI can't write Ted Lasso. It can't write Succession. It probably could write bad reality TV. And the writers are saying, look, we want to have some human input. If we can use it for our advantage, but we shouldn't be subjugating the entire country to AI-written products. And I think they're very reasonable.
I want to, this real quick before we run up to break. One thing that just got me here about UPS workers who might go on strike by the end of the month. One of the basic things they're asking for, yes, they want part-time employees to be paid more. They just want air conditioning in their trucks. We're having one of the hottest summers on record. Just talk about some of the basic things that people are asking for. That's not crazy, is it?
It's not crazy. I mean, they want air conditioning. I mean, in Texas, my colleague Greg Cesar is going to be out in front of the Capitol steps saying that people should have a worker law that you get drinking water. I mean, can you imagine the governor there is taking away the requirement to give workers drinking water in this heat? And UPS drivers are saying have air conditioning, have breaks so that we can be healthy. Look, workers have had enough. They understand that this country hasn't been working for them for 40 years. Good for them for standing up, and the American public is behind them. Many people in Congress are behind them, and I hope they're going to finally make change in this country so they get what they deserve. This isn't asking for charity. They're creating value, and that value is not coming to them. They deserve what they're asking for.
Congressman Ro Khanna, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the Readout. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.